You're welcome back. Now, 22nd September is the scheduled date for the public airing of the Yaw Ansu investigative piece on judicial corruption. Amidst several injunctions on whether to show or not, we are yet to see or hear postponement of the date. Ahead of that, Ansu has reviewed another episode of the judicial corruption. This time, it's about Justice Yaw Ansu Geyeabuor of the Tamale High Court. Francisca Kakafosin has joined me in the studio. And Francisca, you have been reading through this latest revelation. Tell us what you found.
So this is, I'll tell it as a story. This is transcripts of what Ansu is putting together in his video for 22nd. And what happens is that Justice Ansu Geyeabuor meets with Ansu, who pretends to be a relative of the suspect or the person who has been sentenced. This is a guy who has been sentenced for rape. It means he was found guilty and sentenced. And so they go meet the guy, the judge, through his driver. His driver is the connection man, and the driver is known as Driver Charles, and he acts as the connection man. He was given 20 Ghana cedis initially, and then he created the contact with the judge. Now they went and met the judge in his house in Tamale for the deal. And the judge talked about the identity of the girl. Is she really, as she claimed, to be her father's daughter? And her age came up. All these things didn't really make much sense. But what the conversation went on for a while, it dilly-dallied, and then they came to what Ansu or Tiger Eye wanted. They wanted the rapist, the said rapist, to be set free. And so they spoke about some amount of money, 2,000 Ghana cedis. Now what I want to do is to really read to you some quotes. This is coming from Anasu's Facebook page. He's putting transcripts of his interaction with the judges he claims alleges fraud against. Now, Judge Ansu says, so I'll ask him to take you to the state attorney, and then you find something and put it in an envelope. Don't bring it like this. And into brackets, referring to the money Tiger I gave him, 200 Ghana cedis, 300 Ghana cedis. Whatever your strength would be, put it in an envelope nicely. When you come, we'll talk to him. That you are begging him. The boy is your elder brother, and the boy here is referring to the said rapist.
Exactly.
The boy is your elder brother, and it's because of him you have come from university to beg him any help he can offer. But as to the meeting between us, don't tell him. And this is quoted. This is a quote that Ansu is giving to Judge Ansu. This is coming, according to Ansu, is coming from Judge Ansu. Now, after they exchange the money and the guy is released later, Ansu goes to the house with a gentleman who is, we cannot substantiate this, but the gentleman who is said to be the convict, the person who was convicted for rape. And this is the conversation. Tiger says, yeah, he's the one, my lord. Judge Ansu says, that day he was in your, doesn't make much sense, but Tiger goes on to say, Jalabia, so we decided to come with him. Judge Ansu says, okay, be careful, referring to Tiger's brother. Okay. Brother is in quote. Now, if you want to have sex with any girl, you see that of yours, has it not been the girl's age? If the girl was to be under 16, the minimum sentence would have been 7 years. Oh, you can go. So this is a conversation, and we cannot substantiate the identity of this man, but this man is said to be...
the middleman.
No, this man is said to be the brother who was convicted for rape and had been set free by Justice Ansu Geyeabuor. And that's the conversation. And then in the end, Ansu talks about his encounter, or Tiger Eye's encounter with the driver who took just 20 Ghana cedis and was not happy that after taking 20 Ghana cedis and establishing the contact with the judge, he didn't hear from Tiger Eye anymore. So that's the story in Tamale. A man convicted for rape set free by Justice Ansu Geyeabuor, according to Ansu.
Overall, do we know the amounts involved apart from these initial,
the final amount they paid was 2,000 Ghana cedis, and it was written that it was not negotiable. That was said to Tiger Eye by the connection man, the driver, told Tiger Eye, according to the transcripts here, that the amount is 2,000 Ghana cedis, is not negotiable.
We're also learning that he's released some more information on his Facebook page.
Yes. and it comes with a picture of a gentleman and also a house, a picture of a house. Anas says there's a prisoner. He was given a 5-year sentence for engaging in online dating fraud. His name is put up there, and he served just 7 months of the sentence, and he has disappeared from the Nsawam prison. And that's the claim that Anas is making in that latest expose. That was a little over an hour ago when he put that up.
And Francisco, we are learning that you have also watched excerpts of the video Anas is putting together. Tell us what you saw in this video.
So yes, the video, it's about 20 minutes long. What I saw was money changing hands. First, you would see people who were described as clerks. So men and women described as clerks, and these clerks are said to be close to the judges. There's some amount of money was exchanged between them. And then you would see the judges that Anas has mentioned already in his transcript. He mentions these judges again, Justice Ajet Nassam, Justice Derry, Justice Quist, and Justice Isel Mensah. So the men you see in the picture, they'll tell you in the video that this is this justice, this is that justice. You see bundles of money, 10 Ghana CD notes, 50 Ghana CD notes, stashed bundles, put on a man's table. The man is said to be the judge. They pick it up, put it in their drawer. Money exchange happened in the car, and these cars appear to be cars for high court judges. And with the eye, that's what they look like. We saw a Toyota Avensis. Tiger Eye sits in one of the vehicles. Money goes from Tiger Eye to the man said to be a judge. And this is what happened. The exchanges we know happened. One happened at the Accra Mall. There was another at the Medina Zongo Junction. And Anas also talks about some monies he gave to people he calls judicial staff. So in the video, you see a gentleman who is said to be a judicial staff. He says, I don't want money for what you're asking me for. He wants sex. And that people with little souls go after money. Those who go after money, they don't have...
That's quite interesting.
That's interesting. So Tiger Eye team has got Spice Girls, and so they've got money and they've got Spice Girls. And in their investigation, that's what they use. And so in the video, you see... it's not very explicit, but it's in dark. You see a man enter the room saying that he doesn't want the money, he wants the sex. A woman enters, they turn off the light, they get into bed, and they do what they have to do. But in all of this, there's circumstantial evidence. We cannot substantiate. That's what we saw in the video, and some of it has been transcribed on his Facebook page.
All right, thank you so much, Francisca Kakafos, and I'm sure there will be more on this investigative piece in our subsequent bulletins. Investigative journalist Anas Yaw Ansu, we are just talking about his piece, is heading to the Supreme Court today to meet the embattled judges he has accused of taking bribes to influence their judgment. Let's speak now to Kwachi Afre Nyama, who is at the Supreme Court. Kwachi, what can you tell us from there?
Well, Anas has arrived. He arrived a while ago, this time under even heavier security police escort. In fact, all well and armed, and he's entered the building now, and not too clear what time exactly the committee will be sitting, but I know that Justice Adinyo, a member of the committee, is here. And a while ago I saw lawyers for the magistrates, some of the magistrates also entered the building. Their understanding is that about 5 of these circuit court judges and magistrates who appear for the committee today, what will happen is that from the information from they also have the opportunity to either the judges themselves or their lawyers will cross-examine Anas based on the evidence that has been presented. Of course, the last time round, at the last previous session, what happened was that they watched the video, so they will cross-examine him based on the evidence that he has presented before the committee so far.
After we missed a bit of what you said when the line went dead, but do we know whether the judge would also try to convince Anas not to show this video on 22nd September?
Well, that is not clear at this point, but of course that is one point that the judges, the lawyers for these judges have made, but that case is before a high court. The high court will be hearing that of course this committee is not dealing with that particular matter, whether or not to show the video. That is a matter that has been for the High Court, which will be heard on next week, the 22nd of September. Interestingly, the same day ANAS is start premiering this video. But the committee, as I was mentioning earlier, is expected to meet with about 5 of these circuit court judges and magistrates. They will cross-examine ANAS because at the previous session, what happened was that they had the opportunity to view this investigative piece. So based on this evidence that was presented to the committee, they will cross-examine ANAS on that. The other expectation is that they will be officially charged at the committee session today as well.
Kwacha, before you go, do you know how long this probing, this cross-examination will last for today?
Well, it's expected to take not less than 2 hours. Of course, it will be rigorous. The lawyers for the judges who will be implicated in this will ask a number of questions. From the interactions I had with them, it is clear that they have a number of issues to raise. They will be punching holes in what ANAS says is evidence that implicates them in this bribery scandal. That is expected to take a while, some hours, before they conclude today's sentence.
Thank you very much, Kwacha Afreniama, reporting live from the Supreme Court, where investigative journalist Ansu Geyeabuor is appearing before a committee to, question him on the evidence he has on his investigative piece on judicial corruption.